I think anybody who is a dreamer would be excited about USC.
We want to equip students to question, be skeptical, but to do so in a way that constructs new things.
The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said about 2,600 years ago that character is destiny. And what we teach here at USC is core values and character.
Right on.
It's never been lost on me that this is a beautiful place. Each morning when I park and I walk across campus, it's never lost on me that it's a very special place to work.
It's so unique. You walk on campus, you just feel that energy and everybody's just smiling, friendly, and everybody's just happy to be here.
I've had the best experiences of my life at USC, and I've met the best people from all over the world, and I don't think I could have gotten that experience at any other campus.
The friends I've made here are definitely going to be the ones that I'll be keeping for the rest of my life.
When companies introduce new types of products, intuitively we know that not everybody's going to buy the product at the same time. Some customers are anxious and want to buy the product right away. Some customers will take more of a wait-and-see attitude, and others may never buy the product. They just will never see the product as offering benefits that are important to them. For example, when Apple introduced the iPad, you probably
I looked at some other schools, both on the West Coast and on the East Coast, but I felt a certain vibe here that I couldn't find anywhere else. I felt whenever I stepped on campus that there was people who were willing to change themselves and their community and the world, and I feel like anyone who wants to have that feeling should come to USC.
We just finished the most wonderful campus center, the Tudor Campus Center for our students. The idea is that there are places in there where you can encounter a new colleague, where you can run into a professor having a cup of coffee.
It's kind of nice because you can go to class, be that academic student, but at the end of the day, you can kind of wind down, hang out with your friends, and just kind of have that social life also.
There are art exhibits, there are film series, there are lectures, opportunities to meet and talk with novelists, with political leaders.
Besides the intellectual rigor, you'll have this amazing experience of being in Los Angeles in a university that I believe really cares about people having a really nice experience. I mean, you can buy sushi in the cafeteria, for God's sake.
And one of the key things we studied last time was, for example, the force of gravity. It has some weight, and that acts straight down. So let's give that a name. Let's call that the weight. It's always good to label everything clearly. Another force that's acting...
The thing we're very proud of here is the fact that we get undergraduates involved in research right at the outset. So normally you might just think you'll wait until you're maybe a graduate student before you can get to talk to a professor about research. No, at USC you can get involved in research projects right at the outset alongside your learning of the discipline at the undergraduate level.
So we then switch on Newton's second law, which says the net force, that is the sum, the vector sum of all of the forces that act, is equal to the mass times the acceleration.
We have at the University of Southern California a number of programs that allow our undergraduates to work one-on-one with our research faculty who are active in research and active as I am in scholarship. So the students actually get to create knowledge, not just learn about it or hear about it.
We have hundreds of students each semester who are engaged in research with faculty in the sciences, in the humanities, in the professions.
The opportunities here for faculty to collaborate with the great minds and for students to get to work in labs of these great scholars, even as undergraduates, I think, is a major attraction of USC.
I started off doing research on child bilingual dyslexia, and then after that I got to work with the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, working with foster care higher education, and then I worked with schizophrenia.
I'm actually spending the fall in Japan doing research and building a satellite with a laboratory there that's going to be launched into space next year.
What I look for in students is a drive
I look for a drive to understand, a drive to discover, that motivation to learn about what's new and to participate in the process of uncovering what's new. What we really need is a brand new way, a new perspective on how we fix the brain.
I finally found the project that I really like, trying to develop a chip that replaces the functionality of the hippocampus. It's really great to see, that you can actually make a change with what you're doing and impact people.
They become partners in this discovery process, and not people that we teach and tell them what to do. They become partners. I want them to want to elbow me aside. I want them to really want to be there and to be the one finding out what's new and different.
To be a partner with your advisor, I think that's an amazing thing. I mean, I'm glad he thinks like that.
We don't take a typical view of research as something that, say, for example, belongs in the ivory tower. It's thinking long and thinking deep on a subject, but it's also thinking about how we could bring this to market. What we're seeing now is that those students, they're going out there and they're becoming industry changers. They're becoming the young creative minds that the industry needs to rethink itself. You come here and you find a community of practice, you find folks to collaborate with, you find professors and mentors to work with. You're encouraged to break out of the box of the ideas that you had as a younger person and to mature and develop.
I wasn't sure what I was going to do when I came here, and I knew that I wanted to go in the direction of something in the humanities, but I had no idea what. I didn't know if maybe I wanted to be a forensic scientist, and I chose USC because it offered all those possibilities.
I came into USC with a psychology major, just one major, and since I've been here I've added another major and a minor. And USC really does encourage its students to kind of try anything and everything that they're interested in.
We have a program here called Renaissance Scholars, and it really captures an essence about what it is to be at the University of Southern California. A Renaissance Scholar is someone who has breadth with depth. What that means is you can really bear down into a discipline, whether it's political science, economics, public policy, engineering, but you might then also minor in a field that's very far away from your major. So perhaps you major in mechanical engineering and minor in music.
The university encourages this kind of interdisciplinary, sample lots of things that you may not be really familiar with approach that introduces students to things that they might otherwise have never gotten exposure to. And through that process of experimentation, of exploration, they're able to come upon topics and interests that they knew nothing about before.
My majors are religion, business, and East Asian languages and cultures, and my minor is international relations.
I'm a double major in English creative writing, in psychology, and I have a minor in forensics and criminality.
I'm a senior majoring in applied mechanics, and I'm double minoring in occupational therapy and digital media studies.
I knew that there was a great music program at USC in case I wanted to go in that direction, but it was really just, the total diversity in the environment where I sort of had this comfort of, I don't have to make this decision quite yet.
I think it's incredibly important to move across disciplines and to be able to see the big picture. Like, look at the arts, for instance. How can you play a piece of music by Bach without knowing about the whole tradition of architecture with Baroque churches, what was happening in Europe after the 30 Years' War, with the history? All those things are so important. Bravo, Peter. Beautiful job. The quality of students at USC is why I love my job. We attract world-class talent.
These teachers are very generous with their time. They're just very, very selfless and always willing to help out.
I went to office hours for this EE hardware professor, and that's the person who became my EE advisor for my PhD and encouraged me to do my PhD. He basically showed me the path of what I want to do in the future.
The key thing for me coming to USC was the fact that if I had an idea, what I would get would be immediately, oh, I know who you should talk to. I'll put you in touch with someone to help that idea flourish.
We have faculty that not only teach knowledge, but help to create new knowledge, and that's a lot of fun.
USC today is a university that offers the personal attention and feel of a small college, with all the resources of a large, major research university. Our undergraduate students have incredible opportunities to discover new knowledge, working together alongside the nation's leading scholars and researchers. It's a rare experience which few other schools can offer.
We have a 99% college going rate. About 35% of those students are accepted to USC as freshmen, which is phenomenal. I've seen how students can really rise to the occasion if the expectations are set high enough for them.
Having something like USC, such a big private college, it gives a lot of hope to other students to say, maybe I can do something with myself. Maybe I can come out of what I live in, what I know.
Like the way you did it is fine, and you get the vertices. But if you were to, you get the...
Being part of like outreach programs was extremely beneficial, especially in like the community where I come from. Not only are you giving back, but you're experiencing that, relationship that USC builds with the surrounding community.
It is that type of kaleidoscopic outreach that will make USC continually one of the top universities of the world.
There are all sorts of wonderful things that are going on with the intellectual life and the entertainment life and the intersection between the two in Los Angeles. And USC is right at the heart of that.
This is the home of the entertainment industry. That alone brings to the place a kind of creativity, an energy. Major trends tend to start here. In fashion, trends in culture, trends in entertainment, trends in so many other things tend to start here and move east.
Theater is everywhere, music is everywhere. I think a lot of people think of New York as the arts capital, and I would disagree. I actually think you can find everything right here in LA.
Everything from, the outdoors, being able to go to the beach, go to the mountains, go to the desert. You could probably even do all of that in one day if you were really interested in doing so.
Tomorrow we're going to a gallery opening as a class in downtown LA, and being part of a snowboard team here at USC means we're really close to Big Bear, to Mammoth.
I was walking to high school one morning in the snow in January after my car wouldn't start because it was so cold out. And that was about when I made my decision to come to a place like California.
The atmosphere was just very warm and welcoming. The Trojan family is not a cliche. It is real, and I felt that from the moment that I enrolled on campus.
You come onto this campus, and it's like a little microcosm of Los Angeles as a whole, and then of the world. It's just an amazing place. It's culturally diverse. It's ethnically diverse.
We take a lot of pride in having students from all different countries. I had schoolmates from China, Africa, Europe. I had people in the dorms that spoke 4 different languages. It is truly a really diverse place.
I live in the international dorm, and there's people, just in my suite, there's like 5 different countries.
There's a few kids on my hall from Australia, and one from Finland.
Speaking as a musician, to be able to interact with people from Korea or from Japan or from Germany or from Italy or from anywhere, really. I mean, they a lot of the times can really offer an input into a lot of this music that we're all studying that we as Americans just don't have.
You're able to compare issues and discuss topics on a cross-cultural basis, on an international basis. So every class becomes like an international learning experience, even though the word international might not appear in the course title.
At USC, we build up leaders who can see the far horizon. Leaders who know that one industry may disappear in the next decade, and that they must be ready to move in new directions at any moment throughout their lifetime. These people can shape the future in a way that produces a great adventure for them and for others. These are the kinds of people we are proud to graduate from USC.
I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, so it was the biggest, most difficult move of my life. I've never really been outside of the South, and to come to such a large city like Los Angeles was like, I was like bright-eyed and bug-eyed.
What I love about USC is that sense of community that you have here. Like when I first arrived on campus, I love the campus first of all, but then the Trojan family, what we always talk about it, but it's actually really true. You feel connected to everyone, you know, and it's nice knowing that you have people to lean on, you know, if you need help.
Once I saw the big letter with the USC emblem on it, I kind of started freaking out and screaming.
I flew out here for orientation, saw the campus and loved it, and I stayed here for fall. So it's been a great experience. It was a lot of fun.
We've been to Hollywood probably 10 or 15 times. You're right, you're like really close to LA Live. It's on the same street as the school. You can just take a tram there. Over the weekend, you can go see a movie, you can do anything. And it's just, yeah, there's always tons of stuff to do.
I'm really happy with my decision here, and I absolutely love everything about USC. Fight on!
Fight on.
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 Fight on. Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on. Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
I think what being at USC does is make better people of each of us.
It's a great time to be a Trojan, and a great time to be on this campus.
To find a university willing to risk being what it claims to be, willing to risk seeing that education is universal, to be willing to risk reaching out, that is a university worth knowing.